Did she go to the game with you too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you like the game?
Good.
Good?
What was your favorite part?
I got a souvenir that.
All right, guys. Hey, Dr. Scott here. So, thought you could use a little dose of cuteness here to get us started in this video. So, first, welcome, parents. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that can be quite frustrating for both you and your child. We're going to be talking today about apraxia of speech and speech delays. If your child has been diagnosed with apraxia of speech or is experiencing speech delays, this video is most definitely for you. It's also for those of you who suspect that your child may be struggling to communicate clearly and effectively, even if a formal diagnosis hasn't necessarily been made as of yet. As parents, few things are more disheartening than being able to communicate with your child. And it is equally frustrating for your child not to be able to express themselves to you. Their peers, their teachers, or anyone else that can't understand them can create levels of massive frustration. Today, we're going to dive into the three main components or pieces and parts of how speech and how they work together. Now, they can sometimes become jammed up. Most importantly, I will share with you what you can do to help these components begin working better so that your child's speech and communication can get back on track. But before we get started, I want to encourage you first and foremost to share these videos with other parents who may benefit from this type of information. Together, we can support each other on this journey. Now, first, let me share a story with you to set the stage that highlights the importance of healthy movement and coordination in the nervous system. I had a young patient named Enzo who faced several challenges. His mother first noticed a problem when he started to walk. He would slide one of his feet and eventually began walking with a slight turned out foot. He was later diagnosed with apraxia of speech, and his speech struggles became very apparent almost immediately. Healthy movement and coordination in the nervous system are absolutely fundamental to how our bodies function. If the brain sends unclear signals, it can greatly interfere with our kids' movement patterns. Since healthy movement is essential for the development of the nervous system, we often see remarkable positive changes in areas such as speech, emotional regulation, and decision-making when children receive regular nervous system focused care, just like what we do here. Enzo's journey was absolutely no different. As his nervous system became more calm and balanced, not only did his movement patterns dramatically improve, but his speech also began to show progress. His mother shared how Enzo started running more smoothly, jumping with both feet leaving the ground, and playing like any other 4.5-year-old should. And regarding his speech, his clarity and focus improved, helping him understand and articulate words more clearly. He became more confident, asking and answering questions with ease. Pretty darn cool if I do say so myself. Now, moms and dads, if you're wondering how that happened, let's dive into the science and steps that can help your child's speech and communications. The first is perception or input. Before we can integrate and produce speech, the sensory nervous system and brain must be able to receive auditory information from the environment. Once the brain receives the information, it processes and integrates it, making sense of what it has perceived. Finally, the brain must create output and action to formulate and express sound into words. In our practice, we often see challenges in the neurological connection and communication between these two functions. When the signals between speech processing and speech formation are crossed and interfered with, children can understand what's being said to them, but often struggle to articulate and communicate their thoughts. Now, this is where apraxia of speech comes into play. So you may be wondering, what causes this? Well, what causes this is interference between the second and third steps of communication for your child. Okay, if we know this, how can we fix it? That is where neurologically-focused pediatric chiropractic and something called subluxation comes into the picture. Subluxation refers to neurological interference and interrupted communication between the sensory nervous system and the muscles responsible for speech. Apraxia of speech and speech delays are clear examples of subluxation and nerve interference in children. They can perceive and interpret information but struggle with speech formation. As pediatric chiropractors, our role is to identify if subluxation is present and determine its location and severity within the neurospinal system. We use advanced tools like neurological insight stress scans to assess your child's nervous system. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Because ultimately, moms and dads, we're here to help you to navigate this journey for your child. And remember, sharing this video with other parents who may benefit from this information is a powerful way to support one another. I thank you so much for taking a few minutes to join me here to learn about this. I hope that you found this information helpful. To learn more, read our associated article on our website or visit us directly at elitefamilychiros.com, where you can have access to all the information that we have available. Together, what I'd ask us to do is to empower our children to overcome the challenges of apraxia and speech delays. And as also you can see on the screen, guys, we have a podcast here where we go into much more depth. It's the Growing Healthy Families podcast, where we can expand greatly into these topics and also respond to the questions that our listeners have. So, guys, I thank you so much for taking the time today to be with us. God bless each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you in